All right, we're back. We're back to working on a 1971 C-10 in Spanish gold, which I got a list today. I got so much to cover. Today's Raptor Day. I know some people came here today just to focus on Raptor, not my normal watchers or viewers. So we're going to do this a little different. We're going to start off, get this Raptor stuff right out of the way, and then I'll just kind of blend into my regular video. Spanish gold. I had a commenter, and I appreciate it. Who was it? 68 Camper Special. I think he's our Ford friend, isn't he? Yeah, cool. Got a few of those around. Spanish gold, sometimes referred to as a mustard or oshi. I've read it before, but I can't say it. Or harvest gold. I picked Spanish gold. Chrysler, GM, Ford, they all call it something different, but it's pretty much the same colors. Best I can tell, this is probably the Oshi. I don't know. Done. Here we go, Raptor liner, things you need to know. It's on my list. I'm going to get right to it. I'm putting my glasses on. I don't want anybody to, sorry about the noise, I know. All right, I don't want anybody to have to sit around and watch my shenanigans when they're after this Raptor stuff. So I have a short list here. It's 5 important things, 7 altogether. The first thing is this: buy more Raptor than you need. Absolutely, positively, I'm telling you, I'm not even going to be gentle about it. My normal videos, I say things like, you do it your way, I do it mine. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. Not today. Buy twice what you think you need. And I'll explain that later in the video if you want to stay. I got 6 bottles here doing a truck box. Yeah, it was half what I think I need now. Terrible. Buy more than you need. The second thing I would do, I got to quit pulling my glasses off because it hits my microphone. All right, sorry. Number 2, color the box bottom first. Get it all one coat, preferably the same color as the vehicle. Super important. Again, I'll get into that later. We'll discuss why, but this stuff does not, it goes back to number 1, does not cover the way you think. It does not. I've watched all the videos, hours and hours of them. I've never done this before. I'm just like you guys, right here with YouTube. Let's see how it's done. Let's see what all the tricks and all that stuff. I watched them. Now, these issues I'm talking about, I can't find anywhere. A couple guys have mentioned, it's a little thinner than they like, or the texture's not as good as they like. It didn't cover quite with it. No, I'm telling you, super disappointed in this. Horrible day. Didn't go good. That's for my viewers later. You guys can stick around and watch it. The gun, it's junk. All right. Everything's junk. Everything I buy these days is junk. I don't care where it's made. Although my American, yeah, I'm getting sidetracked. That's made in the USA, made in America, and it's good. The gun. Here's the gun I got. Oh, and this is even better. I don't know what gun you got. This came with my kit, but I did all the research. I watched all the videos. The guys are holding their gun up that they got from Raptor, and it ain't this one. So there must be a couple guns out there. I don't know which one you're getting and which one you got. But if you get the one with the plastic handle, I got something for you. It's horrible. The gun sprays the material great. By the way, the Raptor, I'm very happy with the product. The gun, not so much. So the gun with the plastic handle is the one that I got. I can't tell you about the other one yet. But the way you can tell the difference, not only the plastic handle, because the other one might have it, the tip is different. This has got a short, knurled tip on it. The other gun has the smooth tube like the bottom, and it sticks out, I don't know, 3-4 inches. I don't know if that one's good or bad. Plastic handle, here's the issue, people. I'm telling you, it's maddening. If you hold the gun straight and you pull the trigger straight, you're good to go. And ideally, that's what you always want to do. But in the real world, that's not how it works. And I'll go over there later because I'm doing this right now. And I'll show you where this is a problem. But when you tip this gun up to spray in someplace, in order to hold that gun, I'm going to hold just the handle. It's going to rotate on you, all right? You have to hold pressure on that handle to keep it from rotating in your hand. And when you do that, I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to show you the best I can. And if you can't see it, I'm going to just describe it. This little pin in here hits this little plastic piece. And when you hold that gun sideways, that pin goes into this hole and it misses and it don't do anything. I'm telling you, it's super frustrating. So I don't want to get carried away. I want to get to the next issue, but just real quick, talking about how you paint. You get into a rhythm, you get feng shui going. I don't know if that's the right word or not. and you're spraying and you're doing your thing, and this gun gaps on you, and then you try to go back and hit that, and you got stripes, now you got blobs. You need to have that just going nice and smooth and easy, and that will, I'm telling you, it'll mess you up. So while you're working on it and you're focused, you got a bunch of money into this. And I've painted cars before. I'm a wreck. No joking. I joke about being nervous about things. When you're spraying $300, $400, $500, $600, $900 worth of product on a car, you're nervous already, and you're focused and you're ready to make adaptations and changes as you go in case something just isn't what you think. And when that gun did that to me and I missed it, I thought, well, what was that? I'm thinking it through while I'm still focused. I'm like, something ain't right. The handle don't feel right. Did I break it? Is it going to fall apart and make a mess in my truck? Yeah, that's something else. 68 Camper Special, talked about him. Days of Glory Shop Works. Check him out. I'm going to give him a shout out. Seems like a good guy. It was late last night. I watched a couple of videos. Pretty cool. He did a Raptor liner, and I think, he called it right on his shoulder, fail. The things happen. I've been down that road. Your tip falls off your gun. You get a leak somewhere. Well, once you've got dribbles of paint in your paint, it's too late. So you're always focused on how to make a change mid-stride. I don't have a better verbiage for that. So what I did is I realized that pushing the gun that way didn't work. So I tend to lean the opposite way a little until I change bottles. I'll talk about that procedure later. And I realized that when you turn this way, your fingers are lifting on that in order to keep the weight from that bottle. And it does the same thing on that direction. So you're missing this way, you're missing that way. If you don't hold this perfect, all right, I'm done. There is a fix for me. If I get another one of these crappy guns, if you just took epoxy a couple days before you did this and filled that whole thing solid so that button couldn't slip off of there, that thing's soft. You're not going to break that thing. That might fix your problem. I don't know. You don't need issues like that while you're painting the car. All right, moving right along. Told you guys that I wasn't going to digress too much. So the gun sucks. Number 4, pre-plan your patterns. I don't care what your pattern is. You do it your way. I'll tell you my way later in the video. But take a minute. Think it through. Don't feel like a dork. Grab an empty gun and get in there and do your thing. Think about this front corner, that back corner, getting underneath here. Sometimes you got to reach around something. You're like, there's got to be a better way. Good idea. A lot of money in product. I suggest it highly. Maybe your bottle's in the way from the plan that you had before and you've got to readjust. You got to do it differently. So there it is. Plan your pattern of spray. Number 5 is one of my favorites. If I was the owner of this company and sending these kits out, yeah, you'd get a gun. Yeah, you'd get this. You'd get everything. I want you to have everything complete so you can go. Obviously not a compressor and all that kind of stuff, but the cheap stuff that's necessary. Like a pair of gloves would be nice. I got gloves in the shop. You guys that know me know that. I always wear gloves. This stuff doesn't just get on you and stick. It stains your skin. It's going to be there a while. Now, I happen to like Spanish gold, so I wouldn't mind it, to tell you the truth. But anyhow, socks. I would put gloves and socks in this kit, and here's why. When you're painting the box, you need to get in the box. You might think you can spray from outside, but you're draping a hose in, you're cocking your elbow around. Remember, you got to keep this bottle down in order to get the fluid in it. If you're reaching around and you're tipping your bottle like that, you're not getting product. So plan that out. It's so important. And then with the socks, the first trip through where your shoes don't matter. Spray in, get all your corners, get everything done. Walk yourself out to the tailgate, jump out, and you got your first coat. You're good. By the way, I'm back to number 1. Buy more. 6 bottles. I got my first coat done. And I needed at least 2 coats. And I would have liked 3 coats. So think about this. These are liters. I keep calling them quarts, but you got 6 liters, 12 liters, 18 liters. That's almost 3 gallons? By the time you add your paint and all the mix and everything, you're going to be over 3 gallons of product. And I'm telling you, you're not going to say, wow, I got way too much. Other than it costs way too much. Let me finish on the socks. So when you go back in here, clean socks, hopefully not too linty socks. Wear house slippers. Wear, flip-flops. You get to the tailgate, This is tacked up before you do your next coat. You should be able to put your hand on it and not be sticky. It's still soft. Your socks aren't going to hurt it. I did it. I'm telling you, it's fine. Even if your sock sticks a little and you make a texture, it's already textured. Just when you paint it again, it's fine. There's the socks. Now we're on the 6 and 7, and I'll be all done with the Raptor thing, the Raptor gun or paint. So here's the gun that came with it, and you got to spray like an HVLP spray gun. There's a lot of videos where guys do that. Kind of cool. Leaves a much, much softer texture to it. I call it an orange peel, or it's a lot like, what do they call that stuff? Powder coat. Kind of has that powder coat look to it. You know, it's bumpy, but not bumpy. I don't know how to word it. More like an orange peel, less like a Raptor liner. Anyhow, number 7, and that's it for this, and I'll get on to the regular show, is do your rails first. Now, some of you guys have painted before. Some of you guys have done stuff before, and you're like, this guy don't know what he's talking about. And believe me, I don't. I'm not a painter by trade. I did my box rails first. The reason is the way you spray out and spray in, you're going to get overspray. I just soon have the overspray in the bed, so I'm using what tiny bit of product I have here. Believe me, it's not enough. Rather than getting, and on the inside, you got to spray out a little. But why spray this out into your shop and on your floor and all, everything else? I'd rather use the product, less cleanup. So do your rails first. Make sure those are coated right. You're going to get a feel for what one coat looks like, 2 coats look like. And then you don't have to worry about those when you climb in the box. You're not getting way over and trying to get up over the edges, upside down, all that. So that's my suggestion. The 5 are important. Buy more. Pre-coat your box. Your gun sucks. Pre-plan your pattern and wear socks. Number 6 and 7, you know, that's kind of my opinion. So we talked about a lot of this. Let me get into the mixing real quick, and then we'll move over to the chalk. This is so much. I got to just go with this. I suggest buying some of these filters. I don't know what system you got. Generally, guys don't have a full painter system at home. And just out of safety, you can buy cheap Chinese ones for like $4, or made America ones I get are $17, but they're better. I don't know if they're $17 better, but they are better. Have them ready. Have your compressor tips right on them. When you're doing an expensive job, you don't want to be frogging around over there thinking, I can't find this, I can't find that. Try to get these ready. I got 3, I only use 2. Halfway through, I just switch it out for safety. When things get cold in your hand, you know there's a lot of moisture in here. I don't know what the humidity level is. It's a good idea to do that. All right. Always good to strain everything. You can't strain this stuff. It's too thick. I have here the directions. I'm not going to pull them out and read them to you. There's no sense in it. But the directions clearly say that each liter, each bottle needs 8.5 ounces, 8.5. Says it right in the book, 8.5. And they send you these, and it's 8 ounces. I don't know where you're getting half from. They got me set up exactly for 8 ounces per bottle, but the directions say 8.5. The only reason I bring it up is not to be a nitpicking jerk. The reason I bring it up is people are so focused on having everything perfect, and you need to measure, weigh it, and all that. Cool. That's all good. I don't have a problem with that. But I don't want a guy who, like me, who's a DIYer, to get so caught up in this perfectionism when it's never going to be perfect, folks. It's just not. That you get so nervous that you hate the job and you might screw up something else. Try to relax. This product is way easier to apply than paint. It has way longer flash times than paint. You have plenty of time. You can relax and do this at your own speed. I'll talk about your own speed and mixing this stuff in a minute. I got a hard opinion on that. My point is, if they're saying 8.5 in the directions when they're sending you enough for 8, obviously, even a half ounce, which is a lot, doesn't really matter. I started out measuring my paints pretty precise. And I found it just like everybody told you, so I'll make it fast. When you put the bottle in, it comes to here. And when you paint goes in, it goes to here. You'll get to feel after the first bottle or 2, and you pretty much don't have to measure. I didn't. I know that sounds just crazy, but I already had my paint ready. Once I add the bottle, which I know is the right amount, all I got to do is take my paint and finish it to the line that it's been at every time. And my colors they're spot on. The color is perfect. That's that's not a problem. The product is awesome. That's not a problem. You need everything on the table except this. Yeah, I made it easy. Where are we going next? Feng Shui. I already said that. About him. 68 camera special. Gold. Okay, money. Who money? Money. Then we're gonna go for a walk. This is expensive. I don't know how else to say it. It's expensive. I'm going to say it a million times. I hate repeater people. I hate people that say the same thing 20 times. It gets irritating, but I just can't tell you enough. This is not enough product. And then I can't wait to tell you what I did to salvage this job. And it worked awesome, but I wouldn't do it again. Using these 6 bottles at the end of my first coat, I was horribly disappointed in what I had. You could see all my primer through it. You could see everything. It looked like you had one coat on. It needed at least a second coat. It wasn't that the texture wasn't right. It wasn't that it didn't look good, but there's so little product on the vehicle. I wanted that raised thick. Years ago, I seen a Rhino liner, and the Rhino was kind of thick. I don't care for that brand, but it was nice and thick. It looked like a nice job. It looked super durable. I wanted that look. You're going to need 18 of these things to get that look. 6 or 8 ain't gonna do it. I'm telling you, I watched the videos and nobody else says it. I don't get it. I take my word for it. Buy extra, return it. I don't know what to tell you. This is not enough. Now I did do rail tops, and I do have a bigger box. This is a 8.5 foot by I think 5 or 6 or something crazy, where the newer trucks are smaller. I wouldn't do it. I'm not doing another one with 6 quarts or 6 liters. Not doing it. Bare minimum. No, I'm not even gonna say it. 12. If I don't get 12, I'm not doing one of these. You guys do what you want to do. There's my opinion. I'm going to shut up about it. I'm not going to bring it up again. It doesn't matter what I did or what you do with the bottles. It all works out to about the same money. Weird how that works. This system is going to cost you between $500 and $600. It's just the way it is. The time of this video is somewhere between $500 and $600. I mean, tape and paper and you know, whatever. You can take it. I'm talking about local to me, $500 or $600 in product materials. I can take it in for $700 and get it done. I can drink coffee in the lobby and let a guy go do all my work for me for $100 bill. Folks, these days that ain't a lot of money. I almost wish I did, although I love this kind of crap. So there is that. You might consider that. It's expensive to do it nice. Now, if you want to do it on the cheap, I would get some hardware paint, color match. Mine does that. I don't know if yours does. And roll it in, get the bed all one color. Cool. Then you could get away with 6 of these and the paint. But that would bring the cost down considerably. That's as cheap as I would suggest anybody to do it. There's my opinion. I'm done. Now let's move around and show you how it turned out and how I finished it. I hope you guys are enjoying this because this was exciting for me. I don't know if you could see my head. It was chopped off. I got the old camera back on, but it's just a little higher quality resolution. So when I get in and show you the details, that's why I'm monkeying with this. Okay, over here, you didn't get a full shot tour today. I gotta leave that up so you can see me. Don't worry about me. This turned out awesome. I'm gonna give you a closer look in a minute, but for right now, I want to talk about how this worked, how it turned out, and how I did it. Big suggestion from me. I wasn't sure about this stuff. At least this truck. Everybody's truck's a little different. These are all bolted together. Some are glued now and welded and different things. These trucks, the fender is bolted. The fender is bolted to the wheel well. And in that bolted area, there's a crack right here. And I'll get you close up later. It's where those 2 pieces of metal come together. And where they're bolted, you're going to have this V. It's how things work. We already talked about there's not enough Rhino liner. I hate to keep saying it, but I was under the impression that I could just, thick put that in and then come back later and cover over. And I thought a couple days before I started this job, I thought, I'm going to seam seal it. And I talked about in my last video, I think. But I seam sealed it with a good quality seam sealer, one that says you can paint it with anything, any brand, urethane, doesn't make any difference. I'm like, good. The directions say do not prime it. It's ready to be painted. Good. I'm all for that's great. All for that stuff. I just put that in there with the finger, smeared it down, cleaned up the edges. That's the part of the project I can tell you I think looks perfect. Perfect. I would do that every time. The rest of it, looks great. I hate to brag up stuff, but anybody can do that and it looks fabulous. This is like, I don't know, 18, 20 hours later. 5 to 7 day dry time. I just want to forget this stuff. I've dealt with this before, and you think, oh, this is dry, it'll be fine. I backed this truck outside. I'm telling you, it's going to rain. It's just how it is. Probably for you too. That's life. But if it rains on it, if it's like paint, it'll leave water spots forever. So this truck's stuck here for knowing me 7 days. At any rate, I had this. I didn't take pictures. Nobody's going to see yesterday's video. What a mess. I was frustrated. We're not doing that. We're moving on. So I could see my primers and everything through this. The clock's ticking. I'm out of product. I even took paint and reduced it and rinsed all the bottles out. And I ended up with almost a half a bottle thinking maybe I could. No, it looked horrible. I'm not kidding. It would have looked better if you'd have just bought some hardware paint and brushed it on. That would have looked good. Compared to that, it was hideous. It was Friday before Memorial Day weekend. And I called the paint guy. I'm like, hey, I hope he's open. He answered, yes. I'm like, I got to salvage this job. What do you got? Well, he didn't have any color tintable Rhino liner, Raptor liner, excuse me. All he had was black. Well, that ain't going to work. How about you mix me up a gallon of paint? Because this is still open, meaning that I can still chemically bond to it within, it says 72 hours, and you can still smell it a little bit. So it would probably work. I'm not saying the direction's wrong. I wouldn't be comfortable in trying to get a chemical bond to this today. And as far as sanding it down in order to put on another coat, it's textured. Do I need to talk about it? Just gonna knock the tops off. It's not gonna work. So I drive up there. I get there right before he closes. We're all gonna work out. And he says, I don't have enough for a gallon. Well, whatever. Give me what you got. And it was just a little short. Whatever. So I came back. It was about a 2 hour trip and $225 just for a gallon of paint. I might as well have spent that money on more Raptor liner. Then I would have had a thicker finish. Are you seeing what I'm getting at? So I mixed it kind of thin, which means a little heavy on the chemicals as far as the thinner goes. And I lightly dusted the whole thing again with my socks on, just to kind of get those two things to, get to know each other a little bit. Went back in, second coat of paint, went back in, I call it paint, it's paint. Third coat of paint. So I end up getting a good solid finish. And I'm going to show you guys that here up close and walk around with the camera. A good solid cover, a good color, a good finish. I used 2.5 quarts right in that area. It got a good chemical bond. I'm solid color now from the surface all the way to the primer. So if you scratch, it's not like that paint's going to flake. It's actually part of the Raptor liner now. So if you scratch your color all the way through. So I taped everything off, blankets, paper, everything else. I didn't do my rear bumper. I'm not spraying down there. It'd be fine. When I reached around the bottom of that tailgate to get that lip where it hangs over, it sprayed my bumper. Not the end of the world. Besides, I didn't clean it. I didn't degrease it. I didn't prep it. I didn't prime it. It's dusty. It's chrome. If you ever tried to paint chrome, you can just walk up with your fingernail and scrape it off. People are worried about this sticking to stuff. You got to prep it perfect. You got to be perfect. You got to be meticulous. I'm not against that. Better safe than sorry. But to worry about this stuff, boys and girls, Don't worry about it. It's stuck to that bumper. And before I finished this project, I was down there with gun cleaner, with solvents, mineral spirits, brake clean. Nothing touched it. You put that stuff on a white paper towel and just get it wet down good, rub on it, even a brake clean. Your towel is bleach white. None of that yellow came off. So I don't know how to clean it off the bumper yet. I'll tell you how that goes. But I'm not concerned with this stuff sticking anymore. Yeah, I'll cover that. All right, I know there's 1,000 other things, but that was it for now. I don't know how we're even doing on time. But I want to give you a little look at this. Not so much, look what I did. I ain't that guy. We're just having fun, right? Everybody trying to have a good time. Let me get you off the camera thing here. We got a couple minutes. I'll show you some mistakes I made, and I'll show you things that look great. I know my glasses scraping that microphone. All right, real quick on this. Here's the outer edge. I wanted that thickness to show. I wanted it to have a nice, you can hear it. I wanted that texture. I'm trying to get you not too shiny so you can see that texture. That's what I was after. Okay? So, talking about this first. You guys know what a truck's like. Doing this top rail, and from the top of this, I was worried about this where it bends down here, getting a good angle on my gun. So those top rails and this front bed box front, just that was a full bottle of Raptor. So you can see how far it goes. Then I've got rust pitting in here. And the fact that you can see it sucks. And I was thinking, Raptor liner, it's thick. I can fill all that in. It's going to look great. Nope. My idea was to paint, the lighting is perfect. Where it's shaded there from my lights. I was going to Raptor that in the front of this first, give it a good coat, let that set up. Then come back with a second coat where this would always have an extra thickness in this zone that has the rust pitting. But just doing that headboard, what do you want to call it, and a foot out was a whole bottle. Now I'm 2 bottles into my 6 already, and I haven't gotten nothing done. I mean, as far as I'm concerned. I used a full bottle going under my rails on both sides, and I wanted to get the wheel wells real good. That's 3 bottles. I got 3 left, and I haven't touched the bottom or the tailgate yet. So at that point, I realized it's time to go. I got to get this good even coat on this, and you can see. I mean, you can still see my dents, a little wavy maybe here and there. This is original bed. I'm totally happy with it. Oh, I got to show you that right there too. Anyhow, so I just put on a nice even coat all the way back, so the texture's right and even. I'm gonna get you as close as the camera let me. That's the texture I wanted. And I'm not mad about the texture. I was just mad at how much you could see through it. It's crazy. Again, I'm not going to keep you guys all day. You got a pretty good idea what's going on with this. I don't think I can show you that spot over here. So I don't run a paint shop or run a garage, just a home garage. And way out here where I can't quite reach, maybe I can reach that. No, I ain't touching it. We have cottonwoods. Yep. Well, I didn't make it quick enough. So the cottonwood started floating in here, just a couple. And they're so light and fluffy, they laid right on top. I think there was one here somewhere. And you could just brush it off after it tacked up. It wasn't a big deal. So there you go. There's the finished product on the bed liner. I hope you enjoyed the video and all the tips. I wish I could have showed you, but yeah, there's a lot of videos out there showing you that stuff. I'm really happy with it. Finished product's great. If I had to do over, I'd just get more product. I got some patina lines here, but I didn't want that wrap around to go too far. It looks silly. Next week, real quick on the next week. I should put you in. No, I'm not. Next week, finished. I'm going to have her, I'm not going to show you. I'm going to have the truck buffed out. I'm going to have the vacuum, the carpet all out. I'm going to have her shiny and waxed. And we're going to go over the truck front to back. We're going to discuss what I like, what I don't like, what's cool, what's not cool. And show you some of those things. It's really neat. Now, don't get me wrong. I say it's done. It's finished. And there's always something. I think the door lock on this side needs some attention. I don't know why. Just little stuff. Speedometer's off. That'll bother me. But next week's going to be it's finished. And we're going to do the walk around, and I got a giveaway. I don't make a penny, not a single red cent doing this, but I enjoy it. Next week, I'm doing a giveaway. At the end of every project, I'll do a giveaway. It ain't going to be, nothing huge. Whatever. You might love it. So next week's a giveaway, and I'll tell you how we're going to do it. So come back and see us. And I'll tell you exactly what somebody's going to win. Meanwhile, take care. We'll see you. We'll be done with sneaky tricks. Thanks again.